everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. I want to make a video because something interesting that really caused the whole El Salvador Bitcoin scene to happen was, now I don't have any proof, physical proof of anything that I'm saying. This is all conjecture, this is all human intelligence, this is being on the ground, talking to people, seeing how things work, understand how things work in a bigger context. You know, usually if you have 40, 50, 60% of information on something, you can make a very good judgment on what's going to happen next if you know what you're trying to understand. And I said all that to say that, you know, there was a time when Max Keiser gave Alex Jones a ton of Bitcoin, like way back in like 2011 or 12 or something like that. He gave him like 10,000 Bitcoin, and this is well known. It's been documented. Alex has talked about it several times. Max Keiser's talked about it several times, and so it's not unusual that would happen. Well, there's been 2 other anonymous donations that piqued my interest. One of them was they did another, I forget how much it was, maybe $100,000 or $300,000 worth of Bitcoin, and they sent it to InfoWars with Alex Jones, and Alex mentioned how that basically saved them and put them back in the black. And what's interesting about that was Max was back in studio within approximate time of that happening, and Alex was essentially begging for more Bitcoins and different things like that. And, you know, there's no proof of who donated that, but, I mean, Max is a multi-billionaire, and he's already done it before, so it just makes sense that he would have done it and just done it anonymously. And then there was another anonymous donation to El Zonte, where over $100,000 was dropped, and anonymously for Bitcoin people in El Salvador. And, you know, to me that just feels like the way that Max Keiser and Bukele click and are trying to do a public rollout type deal where, oh, it's so organic and, oh, it happened naturally. Well, it's possible that Max Keiser pumped $100,000 into El Zonte, and then once it started catching on, it was allowed to be an advisor through Bukele and start to make some of these laws where you do it in a nation that's small enough and you kind of have a test subject, a control subject. You can see how it works. You can roll it out and iterate, and on a scale that's big enough that it has impact, but small enough that you can really dial it in the way that it needs to. And, you know, I wouldn't put it past everybody for this to have been the whole setup the whole time. And we knew Bitcoin would be like a backing, like a digital gold. So, you know, the world would just need to introduce that in a way that is palatable. And I mean, the same thing is happening with EOS. We always talk about that, and we've went through plenty of things on that, on how there's a public rollout. Why wouldn't it be the same with this? There is nothing at a global scale that is not 100% actuaried out, manufactured to a point of the fine details might not be something that happens until it happens, but there's a point A and a point B, and in between there anything can happen, but you know where the end game is. And so all the other thing is just all in between is just public rollouts and trying to decipher what's actually happening. And I just have a feeling in my gut, like I said, I can't prove anything, but that Max Keiser basically was the donation through El Zonte and basically kickstarted the entire global Bitcoin adoption through the nation states. And you got to think this guy is super smart too, multi-billionaire. He came up with the digital trading algorithms that Wall Street uses today. And, you know, there's just something to be said. It's possible that he was given reprieve or given, you know, his own free will for coming up with such high tech that they can use. You know, he gets to kind of do his own thing. And there's been multiple I feel like Dan Larimer's got that same deal, but on a much smaller scale. So I just want to put that out there. You know, like I said, I can't prove it. I'm not accusing him of anything wrong. I'm just saying, like, we don't think that these are anonymous, and there's reason to believe that there's something bigger going on here. But that doesn't mean that it's not good, and that doesn't mean that we don't support it. We love Bitcoin. We love El Salvador. We love Bitcoin country. I love Max. I love Bukele. It's all great. It's just interesting that I don't think anyone's ever put all that together, and especially after hearing Max talk on a podcast about, oh, you can yell at the bankers because they don't get mad. Like, he was going on about, I think it was the Bitcoin Beach podcast actually, where he even said like there was certain things that he wasn't allowed to talk about, but you know, this just goes to show certain things aren't always what they seem. And yeah, just something for somebody later to look into more, but I feel like that was something that need to be said and has that potential for being what it is. Like I said, don't have any proof, not definitively saying that, but we know all these different things go on and all these random things. It's important to bring them together and try to make a coherent understanding. El Salvador wasn't out of nothing. It was a design to try to make Bitcoin legal tender in the nation, and it ended up working. So now we'll see what happens from here. But I just wanted to put that out there. Stoffel Baker out.